Wait for Eli to get back. But as long as it's
I didn't
timing.
look at those two that you talked about on YouTube, but I will.
Yeah, they're my very first ones. Eli's here. SB's already been halfway through this one. Okay, so what we're gonna do, because it didn't record last time, is we're gonna start out going back over, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna do this for the video. And Tanner and Eli in this case, and Mark. So I sent out YouTube links to the OBS part 1. Right, so just watch that. It was a video recording, actually worked out fine. Last time my camera died halfway through, so we went over everything in here. So you guys can kind of look at that, and if you guys need one-on-one stuff afterwards and you got questions and things like that, let me know, okay? So SB, we're gonna go back over the beginning real quick. So what I want you guys to do, and we won't take the time to do it today, write down a mission statement for you as a trainer. Right? So a mission statement should basically describe what you do, why you do it, and how you're gonna change the world, the person, something, right? So these are some guidelines on it as far as what do you do for clients, why do you do it, why do you choose a career path, and how do you want to affect change, right? But, and then at the very bottom, I wanted them to write down, did I do this today? Because what I did, my camera.
Why are you here?
Because he's always learning.
Like,
Lubicic comes in here too. That was Michael.
My bad. I saw it in the corner. I was like,
I was like, don't do that. I didn't want to yellow.
So the plan with this was that you guys have it on your clipboard, your phone, the desktop backdrop of whatever when you log in, so that you can remind yourself why you do what you do. So when you have frustrating days like yesterday, I'm pretty sure that pissed you off, yeah? No? Okay. So if you're not as laid back as you, and you get fired up like me, and you have an onboarding or a client in 5 minutes, you can look at that real quick and go, whoop, reset, right? Because that's the roughest thing is when you go through and you just poured your heart and soul in the last hour and then it went nowhere. And that's one of the biggest things we talked about at the very beginning of this onboarding series and the lecture series. Don't go in with an agenda. If you do, if you fail, you're gonna crush yourself, but they're also gonna feel it. So don't go in with agendas ever. Just go and help somebody. So, take your time, do that. Put it where you guys are going to put it. You guys put it where you guys wrote it last week? Yeah,
I'm at
somewhere.
clipboard.
Yeah, okay. Have you guys had to use it yet?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Fear, which is false.
Evidence appearing real.
False evidence appearing real. Thank you. It's evidence that always throws me off. Basically, this is what keeps us from actually getting new clients. 99% of the time. This is what keeps us from talking to people on the floor, approaching people at the booths, all that other stuff. So if you can go into, hey, I have a purpose for what I'm doing, and I'm not afraid of the services that I offer, you won't have that objection in yourself, right? So if you really think about it, and you're new to it, you're kind of new to the sales part, right? I mean,
I've always had to close my own.
how long have you trained?
11 years.
Clients, right? Okay, never mind then, you're not new. Forgot. A lot of times we have anxiety over approaching people on the floor and booths and all this other stuff, right? It's usually the fact that we feel like something's going to happen. We've built it up in our head that they're going to tell us no, that they're going to yell at us, they're going to whatever. Honestly, you've been only 6 months, right?
Yeah.
But you've done a lot of floor work.
Yeah.
How often does that actually happen? How often does somebody actually get upset with you for talking to them?
Barely.
Hardly ever, right? Okay, so it's just us thinking worst case scenario, which is a human thing, right? We're built to avoid pain. So once we can get over the fact that that really doesn't happen, and I'm just here to help you for whatever a period of time that I can talk to you, I'm just here to help. I'm here to literally figure out where you are, and if I can help you reach your goals, I'm going to explain why, right? So get over that fear, and then make sure that it's not your fear of approaching someone or actually talking about results, because in some instances, we have this objection in our own head that the real answer is basically the whole kit and caboodle, right? You need everything. And yes, that is going to be expensive, and yes, it's going to be overwhelming. And Ashley saying that the stuff that I present is overwhelming, it is. But that's kind of halfway my point. Half my percentage presentation is you don't know what we know. We're expensive. We're worth every single penny, if not more. And we're the key to your success. It's not you. It's not your motivation. It's that you don't know what the hell you're doing. By the way, we'll motivate you too. But outside of that, I'm trying to brain dump people. So don't be afraid of actually talking about what they really, really need. Because if you ever pull back from what they truly need, and they maybe somehow on some level know they need more, you have already just lied to them. You're like, oh, you don't need that, right? You haven't done what's appropriate for them, what's best for them. They're gonna read that and go, just trying to sell me something. Or if you go, look, in all honesty, we need blah, 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 and you give them the reasons, figure out what's comfortable, and then go from there. And I usually tend to do priorities. My priority is, especially with SNS and you guys, is always training, because then you guys have more at-bats. With your guys' clients, it's different. You guys need to look at the actual priorities of what's most important, right? Don't anybody in here afraid of charging the rates we charge? Like, in all honesty?
Kinda.
Yeah?
Sometimes.
Okay.
I mean, I completely believe that it's worth it, but I just hear so much that people can't afford it, so
Yeah.
it's just that fear of rejection constantly
Okay.
when you're presenting it.
So when you present it and you do get an objection, what's your next step? So if it's, hey, role play with me.
Okay.
2 days a week, 119, what is that, 872?
That's a 109.
That is, so it would be 880. No, it'd be 960, 952, sorry. So 952 a month. You know, that's pretty expensive.
That's like almost my rent. I would never be able to do that.
No, I'm the client.
Oh, okay.
You would never be able to.
We can flip. Are you
No, you're right.
insane?
Get out.
You are not rich. So, you know, Bridge, that's pretty expensive.
We have lots of options. The nice thing about this training department is there's so many ways to help people, and we will definitely get you on a plan that will fit your budget. What can you afford?
Okay.
We'll figure out what
If
your
it's
priorities
you,
are.
if it's you, I would spin that and say, so I definitely want to help you out as much as possible. And I can get kind of flexible with it. So if you can let me know what is affordable for you, which is, let me figure this out. Because I have some
Okay.
clients that do like an hour and a half a week, and it's weird, and it's not your standard.
Mhm.
But what and then you can also go back to, that's just my best recommendation for you. But let's figure out something that is comfortable, right?
Figure out what your priorities are and,
No, you're the professional. You tell the priorities.
okay.
Were you talking about priorities as far as like when they tell you to like cut off your budget?
Cardio,
Okay.
nutrition, strength training,
Yeah,
whether
That
it's
should come from you.
metabolics. Okay.
you're the professional. So if we flip that around, now you're the
But we
client.
still have to investigate, to find out what they're doing, what they're good at, what.
Oh, this is 45 minutes after you talk to them.
Okay.
This is the close,
Okay.
right? So now I'll be the trainer, and I say, hey, Bridge, my best recommendation is that we train together 2 days per week. My rate's 120, so that's going to be 952 per month. Is that something that's feasible for you?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay, no big deal, because we can look into other options that are affordable, so long as this is something that you want help with. Are we good there?
Yeah.
Okay, so the more honest you are, the better we're gonna get, the closer we're gonna get to the best mix, right? Okay, so my next best recommendation, because the main thing that we need from you is commitment and structure. So that's gonna come from the exercise training piece, but we're gonna assume you have diet and cardio down, fine. We'll just focus on training for now. And say, okay, so what we need to do is basically get that structure built, that education built, and the consistency, okay? So in the light of consistency, and this is up to you guys, half an hour versus hours, whatever, right? What I would like to do then is see if you can fit in 1 day per week. So that's $480 per month, and then I'll still be doing your programming for the week, but it puts a lot more accountability on you. So is $480 per month something that's feasible for you? And you can say yes or no either way. I'll play.
It's better. It's going to be hard. I mean,
Okay.
it's better. It's something I really want to do. I would just have to figure out how to make that happen.
Move some money around, some priority stuff. Okay.
Mhm.
If it's something where it's absolutely something you want to do and you see the benefit in it, yes. So why don't we do this? We'll just start with it on an open-ended contract, and basically it's a month to month. Okay? So it'll go ongoing until you give me 30 days written notice. I'm going to be able to help you go as deep as you possibly want to go to with your results, and when things get a little tight, we'll go from there. Okay? Maybe we'll look into putting you in a small group training or some other options, just so long as you're making results. Make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So did it sound like I care about you?
Yes.
Okay. Because at the end of the day, that's what's got to come across. Otherwise, they will not talk budget with you. They're like, expensive. See you later. That's all they're gonna do. They're gonna shut down. It's like, well, if you can't afford a couple $100 a month, I mean, I got college students that can afford a couple $100 a month, right? So it comes down to, have you shown them the value? Do they want it, period? And that's again where every time I go into a close, I ask them if they want further education or if they want help. Get them to say yes, it opens up the door, and then you're allowed to make a recommendation. Don't come out of it in the first, you don't come out of it and go, I think you need 3 days a week training and metabolic conditioning. Let's go. Let me go show you why. You don't do that, right? You gotta build it, you gotta build a comfort. So if they don't allow you in, you honestly haven't earned the right to prescribe anything. So always ask before you prescribe.
Real quick,
yeah.
so like the false evidence is just basically their obstacle to doing it in the practical
The fears in
example?
your head.
So the fears in my head are the false
It's
evidence.
basically, what happens in your brain is you start thinking about future,
Right.
and your body in natural instances wants to protect itself from harm,
Mhm.
right? Emotional, physical, whatever. So this fear that we have of contacting people on the floor, picking up the phone and calling, servicing LT Buck sessions because who knows whatever
Oh,
it
it's
is.
on our end. I thought
Yes,
we were
this
talking
is about you
Yeah.
guys.
Okay, yeah.
This is about you guys.
Another way, I've always heard false expectations appear.
Or that.
Oh yeah, I get that then a lot.
In this
more.
situation, expectations would fit more because there is no evidence yet. So, and then like we talked about, it hardly ever happens. People want help. They might not want to pay for it. They might not be able to pay for it, but they always want help. I mean, I don't know anybody who's going to turn out free advice. I might look at it and go, that was stupid advice, but I'll still listen to you, right? Okay, so letting that fear become an asset for you, right? And what I mean by that, I'm going to check this because I'm going to do this every time now. It freaks me out that it's not running. We're built to be scared, right? So use that as a tool of leverage for yourself. You're scared of not having clients. You're scared of not having a job. You're scared of not having income. You're scared of losing clients, yada, yada, yada. Use those as a driver to get you to do something, right? Whether it's learn a new skill set, present a new style of training, go get that other cert that you wanted to do, talk to someone on the floor because your book of business isn't full. Casey's worried about his EFT running out. He's got his month set up, but he also knows next month people are falling off. So he's already in hunting mode right now. So you just got to think about it and use that fear as a strength, but you also have to be able to control it, right? And I can't think of some cheesy cartoon reference. Was it? I don't know. I almost want to say Spider-Man for some reason. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Give me a little more.
They actually like tell you to harness a weakness and then turn it into a strength. I can't think of what I'm
That's
talking about.
Star Wars and Yoda.
Let's remember the Titans.
There's a bunch of them, right? So, well, I mean, you go back and remember the Titans are, a football analogy. The first hit of the season, the first hit of the game, whatever it is, that dude's just as afraid of you as they are. And the dudes that talk all the smack, it's usually to get themselves hyped up so that they're not scared of getting the crap beat out of them, right? It's the same thing when, unfortunately, you guys group up and huddle. If you guys all drag each other down to the, hey, that's really scary, hey, I'm having a crappy month, hey, da-da-da-da-da, it's a dark circle of hell, and it's gonna suck, okay? So if somebody doesn't break that, and either you walk away yourself, or you change that whole dynamic, depends on who you are as a person, you're gonna get sucked down in that hole, right? So focus on the moment, don't worry about the future, don't worry about expectations, learn from the past, but live in the moment, okay? So take past experiences you have, learn from them. Every time I get shot down, and that's why I always end up questioning myself, every onboarding I have, they say no, I go, what can I do better? Where did I mess up? Da-da-da-da-da, right? As a trainer, maybe some of you guys have ever videotaped clients or yourselves and especially in Olympic lifting where it's very technique driven, you are looking at biomechanics and biometrics about how things are lining up and your cues and how everything's firing, and if it's not on point, you go to do better, right? So it's someone looking back at that video going, that's messed up, this was wrong, that was wrong, my third pull was too slow or whatever it was. So again, go back to not having an agenda. Go talk to people, go help somebody, period. See what happens. So look at it as possibilities. Instead, I won't get to that in a second. Now I'm getting ahead of myself. Process driven, not results driven. So again, no agenda, but have a process involved. I want to talk to somebody, I want to break the ice. I want to look into what their problems are, and I want to offer solutions. That's all you're doing when you're talking to people in this whole career. That's really all it is, right? Creative and not rigid. So again, if you have expectations, you're going to be rigid, and you're going to basically, like you're playing operation. Every time you do something wrong, you're going to kick yourself back inside of your own little box. And you're going to go, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm supposed to do. Rather than flowing with the moment going, all right, that's not going to happen. Like, have you guys ever seen my onboardings? I'm like spinning around in a circle looking for stuff, like equipment. Because first of all, I don't have any plan because I'm not actually with them, right? I got a new person every time, but I'm like, nope, that's busy, that's busy. Okay, we're going to go do this, right? And usually you guys will see me grab like 4 or 5 things and just hog a spot. It makes it easier on me, but I sometimes will just drag them around the gym all over the place.
So when you're starting your onboarding,
Yeah.
And how do you set it up so that you're setting the expectations for the client right away? Like, because a lot of people come in saying, oh, I just want to learn about X, Y, and Z.
Mhm.
So how do you then get it turned around to, let me show you the best way to train?
Step 1 is when you confirm the appointment, you tell them what you're going to do. You tell, and usually the way that I start off my conversation is, hey Sue, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great.
Good. Glad you came in. How was your day?
Good.
Okay, good. So what we're going to do today is basically I have about 45 minutes to help you as much as I possibly can. My entire job in here is to figure out where you are, where you want to be, and kind of what steps are missing in between. Okay? So there's no real design to this at all. I'm just here to help you out. So what we're going to do is figure out some information, take you through some assessments, and we'll roll from there. Sound like a plan?
I just want to learn how to use the equipment.
Okay, so we're definitely going to go over some of that stuff, but we're going to figure out where you are because the equipment may or may not be the answer to what you need.
Got it. Okay.
May or may not. And it's not offensive to where, honestly, I never put people on machines. If it's someone who, if at that point they don't give you the steering wheel, put them on a couple machines. Anybody in here not comfortable with correction on machines? Okay, so I'm gonna say, yeah, hopefully by this point, right? I got my top 2. Who can spit out probably the 2 most frequently messed up or incorrect technique on machines? Like what movement would they be?
Lat pull down.
Okay, so posterior chain
Rows.
and a row, posterior chain, anything else? You just keep going, there's a few.
Probably chest press.
Chest fly.
Chest press machine is actually pretty crappy. Depends on the machine. Leg press is another one.
Leg press.
Okay.
Leg extensions.
They have to learn how to set up the leg extensions properly and the leg curl.
And I'm not here to show you what pin you're supposed to be putting it in. I'm not, sorry. I would just go way goddamn long with that. Yeah, line this up with it. No, sorry. Because I can argue other stuff too. So when you're laying further back, you've actually got, correct me if I'm wrong.
Don't go there.
No, hang on. So if the seat's further back, you've got more quad activation across the hip joint. So then you'll actually,
I'm out.
should be more medial. I'm
No.
off on that one.
You're
No.
close.
Fire, hit me.
In order to protect your patella, you line that shit up with the joint.
Correct.
Thank you,
Protect
Dick.
it relative to the amount of weight, right?
Mm.
He does bodybuilder shit.
If I
No, he
have,
does not.
He used to.
that's where most of my mentors came from.
That's why he's all like. that.
Next time you're on a leg extender, sit the seat further back and tell me that you don't feel more towards the hip insertion of the quad. Try it.
Why not just push your feet back farther behind the seat to get more stretch of the quad, more activation?
Is that really a good idea? I mean, aren't you recruiting the hip flexor if you're doing that?
No, if you,
The quad is a hip flexor, crosses the
More
hip.
range
One of
motion.
them.
One of them,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I'm
Dallas-
sorry.
if you bring your
Right.
feet
You
back
I'm
farther-
sorry, it's in the middle.
Do
Dude,
you really
remember,
wanna do
my
something where
shirt
you're
is
activating
dog doo-doo.
The iliopsoas.
What were you saying?
So if I'm here, if I'm at 90 degrees, there's not a lot of extension in the quad.
Correct.
If I start the machine further back, it's gonna give you full range of motion across the quad, and you'll still hit that up above. At the top.
No,
It's
it-
activating from back here.
Or do straight leg raises.
Well, so the quad does work harder because it goes to more range of motion.
Correct.
Yeah,
But so then does the knee joint.
correct.
Right.
Okay, we're falling down a rabbit hole.
So
Focus.
anyway, because if you go back into the 70s, and not that it was a great idea, there used to be like a lying leg extension, like you almost lay down in your leg extension.
Yeah.
It's
We
tough.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go look
it's
up
not
Atomic
in
Blast
clubs
videos.
anymore for a reason.
Huh?
There's one where he's laying down. But anyway, all right.
Tuesdays?
Face the elbow now. Okay.
And that's so in these meetings, this is where shit's gonna go. Excuse my French, sorry. I may have a slide. Yeah, no. You watch at your own discretion. Have you talked to anyone at corporate? They cuss like crazy. At CERT, we had people from corporate that were throwing F-bombs.
Oh, gosh,
Stella,
Stella.
money for corporate to talk to.
Yeah.
Stella.
Yeah, Stella, Adam,
Adam, the whole
everybody
time. It was great.
Yeah, everybody was. Yeah, everybody was.
I was like, I can work here.
So
I'm not gonna get fired.
we'll have a game plan, but honestly, I want this to be as helpful for you guys as possible. That's also why I kind of shot it at a time. You might have a client at 1 o'clock. Hopefully you have a client at 1 o'clock, but you may not. So it's something where we can game plan off of each other and learn, and then like Sue's question technically was answered in the video 1, but it's always nice to have a refresher too. So going back to if you have a attached outcome that you want, you're pretty much talking to yourself. Because as soon as they hear, if I did not talk to you about machines, you shut
Yeah,
down.
you're screwed.
You go, meh, I'm not listening to you. For the you have an agenda, right? If I don't meet you at least halfway, you feel like I have an agenda, and it already is kind of a sales pitch. So I gotta at least acknowledge that that's there, right?
Yeah.
And then I might talk to you more about, okay, so in all reality, for some people it's easier to learn on machines, but for some people it's actually harder. And the downfall of the machines is that they don't always match your biomechanics, right?
Okay.
So the way that you're built may not be appropriate for that machine, right?
Okay.
So, and then same problem is if you still want to go on a machine, there's plenty of machines where I can tell you, you're not even activating the right muscle, right? All you're pulling, you guys talked about rows and lat pull downs. First thing that bends, elbow. I get forearm and bicep, right? People don't even know how to engage lats. They don't even know what their scapula is, let alone if you tell them to pull it down, they don't know what that means, right? Leg press or squat. So I typically say squat and leg press are the ones I'll always do. And I'll tell them we're gonna start a squat and a leg press because they're the two most frequently messed up, and they're the hardest to teach because you don't have very well, much nerve conductivity with your posterior chain. It's not familiar to you, right? So just like in Pilates, we've gotta teach your body how to fire the muscles we want, then we can get fancy, and then we can get onto whatever we wanna do. Benefit to a machine, you're stronger, you're in a more stable position, great. Or if it's you're not doing well with a lot of freedom, so as soon as I give somebody a dumbbell, if they're doing this, okay, great. I'll set you in a plane of motion, and that's what a machine's good for, right? I'm not gonna start you there because that's really not where your world is. Your world is not sitting down being strong. I really need to get your body prepared for real life, which is why I prefer not to do machines. So, is that okay if we kind of start out with your body today and see where it goes? Again, I'm asking you. I'm asking you something instead of telling you. So I don't have an agenda, I'm just asking. But I am the professional. So, expectations versus possibilities. If you go in again with, and I know I keep saying expectations, but if you think about possibilities of what could happen when you talk to somebody, automatically in a positive mood, right? And they again don't feel that agenda. So just think possibilities instead of expectations. Now, this was something that popped up on my Instagram the other day, and it's so applicable to everything. Does everybody know the whole "Be Water" quote from Bruce Lee? No? About to change your life.
Yeah.
So, plus it's just a badass picture. Well, it clearly wasn't done well, okay?
He's being water.
Can I download it? All right, so we're gonna fly. He's being watered. He didn't need his fifth finger, all right? He just adjusted on the fly. And this speaks to when you have an interaction with someone, don't be stuck in your ways, right? Oh, hang on. It's still muted from the meeting. And hopefully it's loud enough for that.
Can we watch the Conor McGregor one?
No. He's quite the opposite of what you need to be. You can be arrogant when you earn it.
This is what it is, okay? I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
So be adaptable, basically?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't go in with an agenda, flow. Okay? Do I want to teach people how to do machines? No, I really don't. It sucks. I kind of anti-machines, but for most people. But if Sue comes in hot-headed like that and they want to do machines, I can overcome that. I can guide her my way, and if she, again, doesn't allow me to, I'm going to go back her way. I can sell training off of a machine. Everyone in this room can too. And there's clients that honestly, probably the first week or so, probably only got to touch machines, right? We've all had those people. Like they just have way, way too much freedom with what they're doing, and they're going to hurt themselves. So sit down, press against this, right? But let me at least show you that there's a difference, and usually with machines, I'll go, show me a few that you're going to do. 5, 6 reps, okay? Pick up what they're doing wrong, change it, give them a differentiator as far as, okay, so I need you to squeeze your shoulders back first or whatever it is, and then all of a sudden this light goes off in their head and they go, I've never done it that way. That feels totally different. I'm like, yeah. And you're explaining to them what they're doing. Like, I need you to engage with your lat, because that's actually what we're training on a row or a pull down, right? Unless we want to come out of here with tendonitis and forearms and biceps being bigger, and we're actually trying to protect your shoulder or work on scap depression or lat development or whatever it is, this is what this exercise is for. So we need to initiate with that muscle group. If it's a strength thing, we want to initiate with the biggest muscles first, so why would we ever start with the little guys? We don't know how to start with the big guys yet, but that's what I'm here to teach you. Make sense?
Yes, and that's what we do if we're doing it right in Discover Pilates, is that we'll let them do the motion and then we'll cue them into it better.
Yep, and you
That
gotta figure
normally-
out who you're doing stuff with. Are they someone that you, are they gonna chew up too much time if you do that? Are they better if they watch you first? And you'll start getting that read. You get that read on whoever it is. For some people, it's, hey, do it this way. Cool, now show me what you can do. Now, if they can copy you day one, I usually will use that in my ending part and go, you learn really quick. We're gonna be able to take off with you. I'm not gonna have to spend so much time on the basics with you. We got some cleanup to do on that and some old bad habits to break. But because of the way you learned when I did XYZ with you, I see a lot more speed and progression with you than this. If it's someone who doesn't learn it very well, when you wrap up, it's okay, so on the floor I noticed this, this, this. We need to work on a lot more nerve connectivity and development of motor skills and things like that. So like, for example, on the row that we did, and you had a hard time moving your scapula, we just need to get that to be a basic habit for you so that we can keep moving forward, right? Question?
Yeah, so with these onboardings or comp sessions, are you guys always starting with a metabolic warm-up, or do you kind of just gauge it, determine on?
So you, as far as the AMA and the actual metabolic warm-up?
Or just maybe like on the treadmill, like walking, jogging, or running, depending on them, or do you kind of just talk to them discovery way and then maybe just go to functional stuff?
So mine, I will always talk about the AMA first.
Yeah.
But I personally, and I know you guys just came out of cert, you have freedom within the framework.
Cool, yeah. No.
I'm also on
so
video.
I won't get in trouble.
I'm on video, but do I actually do a metabolic warm-up? Typically, no.
Okay.
I usually am going to do a dynamic warm-up, if any warm-up at all. Depends on how much time I have, how much they've talked for the first chunk. If they shoot through time, I gotta, or I talked. It depends. But you always need to talk about all 3 sections, right? And usually nutrition is, okay, so are you following any specific nutrition plan right now? Nope. Okay. Definitely gonna recommend nutrition. We'll get into that because just like with your training, we don't make progress without structure, right? So we have an entire team for that. That's kind of my nutrition piece. I don't need to go through an entire day log because sometimes that'll take someone 10 minutes to remember. If you can't tell me your food log from yesterday, at least off the top of your head, you're not even at, remember I said step half?
Yeah.
You're step 0. You're literally just eating for fun. You're not even thinking about it, right?
What's wrong with that?
Hey, some people can get away with it, some people can't. Your clientele is usually not the ones that can. So, before this is when we went over, and Tanner, if you watch that video, it'll help you with all the beginning stuff.
Okay.
As far as going through the fact gathering, the fitness background, likes, dislikes, all that other stuff, right? So now we're in step 2, which is you've let them talk, now you talk. This is where all my slides come in, and I spit it off in about 5 or 10 minutes. If you get to the point where they glaze over, let's go get you moving, right? You can talk about biomechanics, periodization, all that stuff while they're working out, right? It's just the charts help. But review of nutritional consultations to go through those steps, right? And it's in whatever order is appropriate for the person. Metabolic review, so AMA, RMA, what it is and the science behind it, because that's really what sells an AMA, RMA, is we collect data. Basically, your fitness is an experiment with an N of 1. You're the only person that matters in the experiment. So the group size, which is what N stands for in an experiment, is 1. Hey, seriously. Is that the experiment only matters about you, right? So we have bio-individuality. Results only matter about you. So you might grow from high reps, you might lose weight from lower reps because you put out more effort and we have a higher EPOC and all this other stuff. So this needs to be adjusted based on the person. And the move it, same thing too. When I'm going through those sheets, I'm talking about biomechanics, routine, and the importance of them. Because if we have a chaotic program or zero program at all, you're gonna have chaotic results. And you can give the analogy that you're throwing darts in the dark. You might have hit a bullseye and all of a sudden you lost 5 pounds in a month. Do you know why? Are you gonna change it next month? You don't know, because you don't have a system, right? So going over this, and this is, I haven't changed the slides yet since what I did. I'll talk about how you're glycolytic and you're burning fat here, so we're aerobic. Basically, I don't use those words. I said, look, the higher your heart rate is, the more sugar we burn. The lower your heart rate is, the more fat we burn. Have you ever heard that before? They go, oh yeah. No, that makes no sense. Let's think about it like this. I need energy faster. What's the easiest thing to break down for us? Sugar. So high heart rate, we get more and more sugar. At some point, we turn off all our fat burn. This one's an anomaly. It's really weird. So lower heart rate. Now the downfall of that, you burn honestly the most fat at rest walking, right? So sleep in bed, burn fat. You don't burn very many calories per minute, right? So it's not gonna get you very far. Same reason why you can't walk unless you've got 12 hours a day to walk to lose fat, right? Plus we also have to get that stimulus for your body to have muscle and be strong and be healthy and functional, right? So what we wanna do is spend as much time in zone 2, zone 3 usually as possible while we're doing your strength training. And then we're gonna spend some time up in your zone 4 and 5, maybe 20% of the time, so that we can increase your overall fitness so we can handle more work. Goal is eventually, anything you can do is gonna be zone 3. You're gonna have to work your tail off to hit 4, right? Does anybody remember CERT when we had to do, you had to hit zone 4 on a rower? I was in your group. I couldn't hit zone 4 on a rower.
Yeah, it was fine.
There's not enough resistance. It's gonna be the same thing for you, probably the same damn thing for you too. Because your VO2 is gonna be probably you too. What?
I'm sure I did it.
There's not enough resistance. It comes down to how
You go
quick.
faster.
It comes down to how quick can you get back into the starting position.
Super fast.
Try it. Unless your VO2 sucks, which I don't take it
That's
as.
my VO2's like.
Okay, well, SB can't hit 4 on her own.
RPD will be the same, but the amount that you
Protect
can
the
share
fat.
is
VO2 in this
class.
Down the rabbit hole we
You
go.
won't hit that RPE, right? Or sorry, you will hit the
Every time I
RPE.
got my head, it was Wingate. You did that.
All right, hang tight, hang tight, hang tight. I gotta go through stuff. If we wanna talk